Hello, today we're going to talk about scenario planning for EPC company. This presentation will be presented by Syndicate 7 that consists of Devi, Nazla, Aurel, Romy, Willy, and Michael. I want to start this presentation with the fact that currently our environmental conditions are not good. Extreme climate change, poor air quality, and other natural phenomena that disrupt our daily activities. On this basis, many developed countries have begun to increase environmental awareness. In fact, this awareness began in 1992 through the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change or UNFCCC, which started this good initiative. As time goes by, this issue continued to become a topic of discussion. For example, in 1997, the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Convention were established in 2015. Until the peak in 2022 at the G20 event, President Joko Widodo raised net zero emission as a target that must be achieved in 2060. Indonesia itself has also started its net zero emission journey since 2060, at which time Indonesia ratified the Paris Agreement and began reporting the National Determined Commitment Report or NDC to the UNFCCC, and Indonesia is consistent in continuing to carry out its obligation and role in the global world in realizing NZE in 2060. Syndicate 7 is want to show the Indonesia energy mix based on report related to energy source produced in Indonesia until 2030, which is currently still dominated by fossil-based energy. In fact, in 2050, Indonesia wants to reduce the presentations of fossil-based energy and increase new renewable energy source. Based on our previous slide that show current condition and what Indonesian government trying to achieve, we see that there is a potential for business expansion that could be implemented. In this presentation, we will explain the potential for expansion in EPC company using strategic planning. But before we deep dive into what strategic planning, we would like to invite you all to see about the company that become quote-unquote the object of this presentation. It's called PT Rekayasa Industri.
Indonesia, negeri yang kaya akan sumber daya alam, membentang luas sepanjang garis khatulistiwa. Kekayaan alam ini harus dikelola dengan baik demi kesejahteraan bangsa.
Selama
21 tahun mengabdi, Rekin hadir mewujudkan kemandirian industri di tanah air melalui karya terbaik dalam jasa EPC untuk proyek-proyek skala besar dengan kualitas teknologi bernilai tinggi dan modern di bidang energi, mineral, dan kimia.
After viewing the video of PT Rekayasa Industri, are we agree that the company has potential for expansion to give service in engineering, procurement, and construction? And then how to do that? The company will try and create strategic planning in several stages. Let's break down each stage. One is the orientation, second is the exploration, third is scenarios and creation, fourth the implication and option, and then fifth is the integration. So what the orientation is, this stage, Reckon company should understanding the current situation and identifying the key factor that may impact the organization in the future. Okay, so we go further of the step orientation. First one is who is the user of our planning, or who is the user of our strategic planning. In here, we decided that the user of our strategic planning is the board of director, government, and client. Those are the top major that use this plan that may affect on their decision and action. Second is the scope of issue or area of concern. So the scope of issue is about our services, engineering, procurement, construction, industry. And then the third one is time period. What is the duration in this scenario? We assume that the plan is around 7 years. And then the last one, all those orientation that we thought that what is the focal issue in here should ranking expansion in this business into the growing sector of renewable energy, and my friend will go further of this.
The step 2 of scenario planning is exploration, which is identifying two major driving forces. According to the focal issue, we conclude that there are 11 driving forces that can be categorized into three perspectives. The first one is contextual environment that consists government policy and regulation, technology advancement, availability of renewable resources, and the last one is environmental awareness. Second, transactional environment perspective that consists customer demand, market price, competitor, and global market. And the last one is organizational perspective that consists talent management, business development capability, and corporate culture. The next step of exploration stages is plotting each driving forces by its impact and uncertainty to find the critical uncertainty. The critical uncertainty driving forces can we find by giving the score to each driving forces based on its impact to the company and the uncertainty level. Based on the graph, we can conclude that two driving forces that in critical uncertainty level are government policies and regulation and technological advancement. Government policies and regulation can change based on the political, economical, and environmental issues factor that happen that time. So it can give impact to the company business. And for the technological advancements, because technological breakthroughs are unpredictable and can significantly impact to the market.
Based on our extensive exploration, we have identified two pivotal factors characterized by the highest level of uncertainty and the potential for the greatest impact on our scenarios. These two factors are government regulatory support and technological advancement. We have categorized these scenarios based on varying combination of these factors. Firstly, in the stable path scenario, we envisage a situation where government regulatory support is high while technological advancement remains relatively low. This scenario implies a steady and predictable environment. Secondly, we have the regulatory whirlwind scenario, where both government regulatory support and technological advancement are low. In this case, the regulatory landscape is unstable and unpredictable, posing significant challenges. Next, we have the turbulent frontier scenario where both government regulatory support and technological advancement are equally low. This scenario paints a picture of a challenging and uncertain terrain. Lastly, in the dynamic techno world scenario, we envision an ideal scenario where both government regulatory support and technological advancement are high. This scenario represents a dynamic and innovative environment where opportunities and growth are abundant. These distinct scenarios provide a framework for assessing and preparing for various potential futures, allowing us to adapt and strategize effectively in response to the interplay of these critical factors. In the stable path scenario, the renewable energy sector follows a trajectory of gradual, incremental changes characterized by a lack of major disruptions. The government plays a crucial role in this scenario by offering consistent incentives and strong regulatory support to encourage advancements in the sector. Unlike scenarios with a sense of urgency, there is no need for rush in innovation. Instead, progress unfolds steadily and surely over time. In the stable environment, established technologies continue to hold sway, influencing the pace and nature of advancements. While this scenario may not see rapid breakthroughs or revolutionary changes, it fosters a reliable and predictable landscape for the renewable energy industry, ensuring sustainable growth and development. The regulatory whirlwind scenario represents the most challenging and unfavorable situation where both technological advancement and government regulation support are equally low. In this scenario, technological progress is severely hindered by frequent and substantial regulatory changes, creating a highly unstable environment for the industry. The market remains conservative and risk-averse as business struggle to adapt to unpredictable shifts in regulations. The government's capricious nature, characterized by its unpredictable and often erratic decision-making, further compounds the challenge faced by the renewable energy sector. This erratic behavior introduces additional uncertainty and difficulty in long-term planning and investment. In the regulatory whirlwind scenario, the industry focus on efficiency and risk aversion is constantly tested and disrupted by the turbulent regulatory landscape, making it extremely challenging for business to thrive and innovate in such a volatile and unpredictable environment. The turbulent frontier scenario, while not as dire as the regulatory whirlwind scenario, presents its own set of challenges and uncertainties. In this scenario, the technology landscape is characterized by high dynamism and innovation, but this dynamism is not adequately supported and can even be impeded by the regulatory environment. This discrepancy can lead to significant volatilities and disruptions in the renewable energy sector due to the possibility of frequent and abrupt regulatory changes. In this environment, it becomes plausible that the private sector may assume a leadership role, attempting to navigate the rapid shifts in the market. However, the high rate of technological advancements faces considerable challenges in adapting to and aligning with the regulatory landscape. This creates a situation of uncertainty and risk where the potential for high reward is balanced by a significant level of risk. Investing in the turbulent frontier scenario becomes akin to a gamble, as businesses must weigh the potential for substantial gains against the inherent uncertainties and regulatory hurdles. This scenario demands a high degree of adaptability and resilience from industry players, making strategic decision-making a complex and demanding endeavor. Lastly, the dynamic techno-world scenario represents the most favorable and promising environment where government regulation support aligns seamlessly with high technology advancement. In this scenario, we can anticipate the emergence of rapid technological breakthroughs, buoyed by a regulatory environment that actively promotes and facilitates innovation. This harmonious relationship between government and industry fosters a fertile ground for collaboration, research, and development initiatives. Business operating in this scenario will find an ample opportunities to invest in cutting-edge technologies and explore new horizons. The competitive landscape thrives, driven by a skilled and motivated workforce eager to contribute to the transformative changes unfolding in the renewable energy sector. The dynamic techno-world scenario not only promises economic growth, but also paves the way for a sustainable future. It embodies a shared vision of progress and development, benefiting both businesses and society at large. This scenario holds the potential to reshape the renewable energy industry and serve as a model for innovative and sustainable practices.
Continue on the step 4, options and implications. The stable paths, the scenario that the government regulation support is high, but the technological advancement is low. The implications that can be happen are stability in business planning with limited breakthrough opportunities. So it make the gradual shifts in the industrial landscape is low. So the several options that we have are build the long-term partnerships and collaborations with regulator, and also steadily diversify into renewable energy, but still balancing the portfolio with existing businesses. So we are ready to face the new changes if the opportunities is coming, but if it's not, we can also focus on our current business. Continue to the scenario 2, the regulatory whirlwind, whereas both of the government and also technological advancements both are low. The implication that can happen is uncertainty due to regulatory fluctuations and then limited technological disruptions can enabling the government to focus their shifts that can also impact to the market industry. So the options that we have is to engage with regulatory bodies, to develop a flexible business model that can be suitable with varying regulatory contexts, and then focus on existing business but still prepare for the future or opportunities. For the next scenario, dynamic techno world, whereas the opposite of scenario before, this scenario, the technology advancement is high and also the government regulation support is also high. So the both factors are high. The implications that can happen is huge opportunities for adopting technologies, potential to gain because we can early adopt the technology advancement. We can become a pioneer, but by become a pioneer also we will faces the risk of being a pioneer. And the implications that can happen is the challenges in aligning the fast-paced technological shifts with our operational capabilities. Is our operational capabilities could be aligned with the fast-paced industry? And for the options, we can build strategic partnership with the technology providers, and then we can develop the agile organizational structure to adapt with the new changes. And then we can engage in continuous workforce training for our employee to adapt with new technology. And we can also preparing the mitigation risk for being a pioneer. For the last scenario, the turbulent frontiers, whereas the technology advancement is high, but the government regulation support is low. The implications that can be happen are high risk due to the volatility of regulations, but there is an opportunities for innovative technologies. Combination of these conditions could make the renewable energy made not feasible in the short time. So we have several options, like we strengthen our internal management. If the renewable energy could not be applied in a short time, we can focus on our existing business. But if the renewable energy is coming, we also ready for phases. Options that we have is we engage in strategic alliance to share the risk, and then we can ensure our internal management to have the highly adaptive organizational culture to embrace the changes. This is the options and implications for the scenarios, and will continue be my friend Nazla with the integration.
Moving on to step 5, the integration. Integration is the step where we combine all the implications and options to guide us into making a strategic planning. This also helps us to monitor the early warning that appear in the business environment. The first one is the stable paths. We already pinpoint 4 points to remind us about the early warning. The first one is the long-term commitment. Given the stable regulatory support, RECIN can make a long-term investment in the renewable sector without the fear of abrupt policy change. The second one is to optimize existing technologies. Since technological advancement is low, RECIN can focus on mastering and optimizing existing technologies at the market. The third one is to strengthen the government relations. RECIN needs to foster their relationship with regulatory bodies to ensure the continuation of support and potentially influence future policies. And the last one is to build consumer trust. With the support from government, RECIN should focus on building consumer trust by emphasizing the reliability and longevity of renewable solutions. This way, the customer will have the trust that what RECIN do is already in line with what the government has regulated. The second one is regulatory whirlwind. The first step is risk management. RECIN needs to develop robust risk management strategies to navigate the regulatory uncertainties. The second one is lobbying and advocacy. RECIN needs to invest in lobbying efforts toward governments to advocate for more favorable regulation. The third one is diversification. Given the double uncertainty, diversified business ventures to hedge against potential setbacks in the renewable sector might help RECIN to sustain their business. The last one is operational efficiency. In the absence of technological breakthrough, RECIN should focus on driving efficiencies in existing operations to remain competitive. Next, we have dynamic techno world. where technological advancement is high and government regulation is also high. The integration is first innovation of culture. Working need to cultivate a culture that encourage and embrace rapid technological changes. Working also could start to invest in their research and development department. The second one is flexible business models. Adopt business model that can quickly adjust to technological breakthrough. The third one is collaborative projects. Reckon needs to engage in collaborative projects with government and technological innovators to be at the forefront of the technological wave. The last one is talent development. This is in line with point number 1, where Reckon should implement learning programs for employees to keep up with the technological advancement. The last one is the integration for turbulent frontiers. The first one is agile operations. Reckon need to create an agile operational framework that can swiftly adapt to the rapidly changing technology landscape, even in the face of regulatory challenges. The second one is strategic alliance. During this scenario, Reckon needs to form alliance with technological innovators and to stay ahead in the technology race, sharing risks and rewards. The third one is regulatory buffering. Reckon need to establish buffer mechanisms such as contingency funds or diversified portfolios to absorb potential regulatory shocks. And the last one is stakeholder engagement. Reckon need to engage with their stakeholders, both in tech field and regulatory bodies, to influence favorable conditions and be prepared for technological disruption. I think that's all for the step 5 integration part.